Dear students, today we shall be learning the second part of sexual reproduction, and the second part will include sequential events of sexual reproduction, and these are pre-fertilization, fertilization and post-fertilization. Now pre-fertilization meaning prior to fertilization, before fertilization, and post fertilization meaning after the fertilization. So comes now fertilization. What is fertilization? It is fusion of male and female gametes. Everyone knows this. Male and female gametes are fusing, leading to fertilization. Got it? So we will be learning here which are the events or which are the steps which should take place before the fertilization and after the fertilization, and in between during the fertilization. Okay, so let us begin with the pre-fertilization. Now before fertilization, so what should happen? Gametes has to be formed. Very important, because gametes once have formed, then only they will be reuniting, right? So gametogenesis is the first step of pre-fertilization. Gametogenesis. Let us split this term. Genesis. Genesis meaning formation. Remember this word, genesis meaning formation, and formation of gametes. So gametogenesis, very easy to remember. Okay, so formation of male gamete and formation of female gamete is nothing but gametogenesis. Okay, so gametes which has formed, now male gamete has formed, female gamete has formed, that gametes has to come closer to each other in order to fertilization, right? So the next step is gamete transfer. So gamete has to transfer in order to come to close, or in order to come for fusion, we can say that. Okay, so these are the two events, or these are the two steps of pre-fertilization: gametogenesis and gamete transfer. Okay, so as I told you, gametogenesis is formation of gametes. Next, remember this thing, as I am telling you thousands of times, gametes are haploid. Always gametes should be haploid. Okay, it can be a plant, can be a diploid or haploid, but gametes should be haploid. Do remember this thing. Okay, now there are some organisms like algae, fungi. Okay, so we'll say that in this particular organisms, most of the time gametes are similar in appearance, meaning you cannot clearly distinguish which is male and female gamete. Whereas in case of humans, you can clearly distinguish the sperm and the ovum, right? Whereas some algae, I'm telling you, okay, in this the gametes cannot be identified, cannot be distinguished as male and female. Okay, and the gametes which are similar in appearance or morphologically they are similar. Can you see here? See this picture. Okay, the gametes, now this is male gamete, female gamete, or female gamete, male gamete. We don't know, because we cannot distinguish which is male and female gamete over here. Okay, both are looking exactly same. When the gametes are looking identical, when they are similar to each other, that time these gametes are called as isogametes. Iso meaning similar. Okay, gametes which are similar. Now these are the gametes. This is the picture showing you all gametes in case of Cladophora, which is an algae. Okay, now the gametes which are similar, isogametes. The gametes which are dissimilar in appearance, see this. This is the female gamete, this is male gamete. See here, female gamete, male gamete. Okay, you can clearly distinguish. They are not identical, they are not same, right? So these gametes are called as heterogametes. Got it? Different. Okay, they are called as hetero. Similar, they are called as isogametes. So this is another example. This is female, male gamete. Another example in fucus, which is also an algae. And here everyone knows this is an ova or egg of female, and this is the sperm in case of the male gamete. Okay, so both are dissimilar in appearance. Next, let us learn the thing under the gamete formation, that is sexuality in organisms. There are some terms you will have to learn over here. Bisexual. Now what is bisexual? Bi meaning two. Remember, a single individual having both the sexual reproductive structures, male reproductive structure, female reproductive structure, if born on single plant or single individual. Let me take example over here, plant. Okay, flowering plants, only plant. When a plant is having male and female reproductive structure present in single plant, that type of plants are called as monoecious plants. Single, so monoecious, but having both the sexual characteristics, both the reproductive structures, so bisexual. Okay, example are cucurbita, coconut. Okay, these are all examples of monoecious plants. Exactly opposite will be dioecious. Now dioecious meaning reproductive structure will be present on single plant itself. For example, this is a male plant, it will be having only male reproductive structure. If this is female plant, it will be having only female reproductive structure. So two different individual, two different plants. So the plants are referred as dioecious but unisexual because single reproductive structure. Unisexual. Okay, remember this. Bisexual, monoecious, unisexual, dioecious. Okay, example of dioecious, that is different plants. Okay, papaya, date palm and all. You must have seen this in your garden. If suppose there are many papaya plants, okay, all that papaya plant will not give you fruit papaya. Only some will give. Okay, the plants which will give you papaya, the plants which will be forming papaya fruit, this will be female papaya plant, and the papaya plant which will be not producing the fruit, this plants will be male. So they are male and female separate plants. So they are dioecious plants. Okay, now there are some flowers, okay, which will be having only male reproductive structure. If we talk about the stamen, okay, stamen is the male reproductive structure. If it is having only stamen, then these are called as staminate flowers. Okay, and the flower which will be having only female reproductive structure, that is pistil, then that flower is called as pistillate. Okay, staminate and pistillate. Okay, so see here, this particular flower is showing you only stamens. See, only stamens, so staminate flower. This flower is showing you only pistil, stigma, style, ovary, only this, no stamen. So this particular flower is pistillate flower. And this is the zoomed version I have shown you here. See this is actually the hibiscus flower. Okay, see this is the stigma. Okay, and there is anther also, yellow color anther also. So pistil also is there. Okay, and stamen also is there. So both the things are present. So this particular flower will be bisexual flower, and this will be unisexual flower. Staminate flower, male flower, and this is female flower, and bisexual flower having both the reproductive structures in single flower. Okay, this is in case of the plants. Now let us see in case of the animals. Okay, now if we consider dogs, cat, human beings, we all are unisexual because we have single reproductive structure. For example, female body, female human will have only female reproductive structure, male human will have male reproductive structure. But there are some animals, okay, in that male as well as female reproductive structures are present on single individual, and these animals are called as hermaphrodites. They are called as hermaphrodites. Okay, example of hermaphrodites are leech, earthworm, tapeworm. Okay, this will be having male as well as female reproductive structure present in single individual. So they are called as hermaphrodites. So bisexual, both are present in single, bisexual, and unisexual meaning different. Okay, now this is a thing comes here. It's cell division during gamete formation. Now here I'll tell you cell division during gamete formation. Now why it has to happen? This was the life cycle you must have learned in your 11th standard. Haplontic life cycle, diplontic life cycle. Let me just brief you all. Okay, for example, I'll tell you this example first. For example, the plant body, let me take example of algae. Okay, plant body is haploid. Okay, plant is haploid. So haploid will produce gametes, that will be also haploid, n number of chromosome, that will be also haploid. Okay, So gametes, for example, male gamete and female gamete has formed. If suppose if we have it has fused, okay. So fertilization will lead into zygote. Zygote will be diploid because male gamete, female gametes, haploid fuse, so diploid zygote. But I want plant body haploid. So zygote has to undergo meiotic division. Why meiotic? Because reductional division. Remember this thing. And so zygote will reduce into half. So half meaning it will again produce n, and n number meaning the same, we can say it is the main plant body. So here the meiosis will take place. If I am taking the second example, the organism is diploid. The main parent itself is diploid. Okay, so diploid parent body will produce gametes, but gametes are haploid. So what will happen? Here meiosis will take place when there is production. Here meiosis will take place when there will be production of gametes. So gametes have produced. Now male gamete, female gamete has fused. Again it has produced diploid zygote, and diploid will give, through mitosis, it will give the new organism that will be diploid. So mitosis is equational division, meiosis is reductional division. So you all should know when meiosis takes place, when mitosis takes place. Okay, some examples when the parents are haploid are monerans, bacteria, fungi, algae, bryophytes. Normally the plant body is haploid. Okay, and diploid plant body, pteridophytes, gymnosperm, angiosperm, most of the animals and as well as the humans, we are diploid. Now gametes has formed. I told you male gamete, female gamete has formed. Now gamete has to transfer, right? So after gamete formation, they must be physically brought together in order to fertilization. Okay, so here comes the next. Mostly male gametes are motile. Remember this thing. Almost all, I'll say 99%, I'll say male gametes are motile, whereas female gamete is stationary. So for example, female gamete is stationary, so male gamete has to transfer to the female gamete in order to fertilize. Okay, so sometimes what happened during the transfer, okay, male gametes, if is transferring to the female, is moving to the female gamete, there may be that they may lose their viability. Okay, so some may lost also. So that's why in order to compensate with this problem, male gametes are released more compared to that of female gamete. Okay, there are some exceptions. Like fungi and algae, some fishes also, both the gametes are motile. Male as well as female gametes are motile. Okay. Okay. Now as I told you, for mobility, male gamete has to reach to female gamete, so there should be some medium for them to transfer to the female gamete, right? So always in case of algae, then in case of bryophytes, fishes, amphibians, the water actor. So example, aquatic organisms, algae, aquatic organism, bryophytes are found in the water, we say. Okay, near the water. Fishes, amphibians are found in water, so obviously the need of medium, so medium will be water for their transfer. Got it? So water as a transfer or as a medium of transfer, it acts in this particular organisms. Okay, as I told you, during transfer male gametes fails to reach. Okay, so to compensate with this problem, male gametes are produced 1000 in numbers compared to that of the female gamete. Okay. Now in case of flowering plants, okay, I'll show you this picture again. See here. Okay, now in this flowering plant, this is a bisexual flower. There is stigma and anther present in single flower. Okay, and now stigma and anther are lying close to each other, so obviously there will be self-pollination. The anther will release pollen, pollen will come on the stigma, and then pollen tube will form. All this thing, you know, pollen tube will germinate. There will be ovary over here there will be ovary. So what will happen? Easily the fertilization will take place, self-fertilization we can say. In case of this flowers, okay, male flower is different, female flower is different, and both are in different plant. So what should happen? The pollens, okay, pollens from this male flower has to go and reach to the stigma over here. now has to go. It cannot go by that simply, it cannot go. Okay, so it requires some agents. Okay, and these agents are wind, water, insect. These are the agents. So they will be transferring the pollens from this particular flower to the female flower, and then the pollination will take place. So transfer of pollen to the stigma of the flower is called as pollination. So here there will be, we say this is cross pollination, requires pollinating agents, cross pollination, and here it is self pollination. Remember this thing. Okay. Now, so these were the events. This is the event of pre-fertilization. Gamete has formed and gamete has transferred. Next event is fertilization event. What is fertilization? Fusion of gametes is called as fertilization. So male gamete and female gamete will fuse, that will lead into fertilization. Male gamete and female gamete has fused, leads into formation of zygote. Very important over here, that is zygote. Okay, fertilization is also called as syngamy. See, gamy meaning gametes, syn meaning fusion. So gametes fused. Okay, fused gametes or fusion of gametes is called as syngamy. Okay, so that syngamy will lead into formation of diploid zygote. Why diploid? Because gametes are haploid, haploid is fusing, forming a diploid zygote. Okay. Now some organisms, okay, there are some organism, example I'll tell you first over here. Okay, honeybees. Okay, some honeybees, okay, the female gamete itself is undergoing development. Okay, female gamete is undergoing development and producing a new individual. Okay, there is no fertilization, there is no male involvement over here. Female itself give rise to new individual. Okay, and that process of formation of new individual without fertilization is called as parthenogenesis. Genesis meaning formation. So formation of new individual without male gametes. Here female only gives the new individual. So process is called as parthenogenesis. Some examples are rotifers, honeybees, turkey, lizard. These organisms can give birth to new young ones without involvement of male. Parthenogenesis. In case of plants, we say that you must have seen sometimes banana, grapes, they don't have seeds inside. Okay, seeds are not there, meaning fertilization have not taken place. So here also particular female flower itself can give rise to fruit without fertilization, and these fruits are called as parthenocarpic fruits. Parthenogenesis in case of animals. In case of flowering plants, we say the fruits are formed by result of parthenocarpy. So fruits are called as parthenocarpic fruits, seedless fruits. Now where does syngamy occur? Okay, where it has to take place if particular individuals are, for example, I'll tell you directly the examples. Fishes, amphibians, algae, then bryophytes are found in water. So these organisms, aquatic organisms, normally the fertilization takes place outside the body of organism because gametes are released in the water. So once the gametes are in the water, they have to be fused in the water. Hence the fertilization is taking place outside the body of organism in the water. That's why the process is called as external fertilization. Exactly opposite will be internal fertilization. The fertilization which will be taking place inside the body of organism, normally in the female, this process is internal fertilization, whereas in case of fishes, algae, amphibians, the fertilization is external fertilization. Here also some things you have to remember, that since gametes are released in the water, they have to transfer. Okay, to compensate this problem, again I told you, during the transfer some may lose their viability, some may lose their life also. Okay, so during the transfer what happens, as I told you, there are predators also in between. So predators may also eat their eggs or sperms, we can say, or male gamete, female gamete. In order to compensate this problem, they are released in n numbers, they are released in 1000 numbers, okay, compared to that of the animals. So especially in case of external fertilization. There will be another problem. If suppose female individual has released the female gametes, at particular time, and during that time if male gametes are not released by the male individual, so what will happen, the fertilization will not take place. So the animals which show external fertilization, there should be great synchronization between the release of male gametes and female gametes. Okay, then only they will be fertilizing. Okay. Next, as I told you, reptiles, birds, mammals, then gymnosperm, angiosperm, all these organisms, the synegamy or fertilization takes place inside the body of organism. So it is called as internal fertilization. Okay. Moving to the last event of sexual reproduction, that is post-fertilization. Now post-fertilization meaning, now what should happen? Fusion of gamete has taken place. First gametes have formed. Then gamete has transferred. Now zygote has formed during fertilization. Now zygote has formed. Now that zygote has to develop into an adult. Before that there will be embryo. So now comes post-fertilization. So what will include in the post-fertilization? After the formation of zygote, there will be formation of embryo, and the formation of embryo is called as embryogenesis. Okay, so development of embryo from zygote is called as embryogenesis. Now for example, this is a zygote has developed into an embryo. Now in the embryo there will be different cells. Okay, some cells, the cells will be dividing, right? So from 2 cells there will be 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16, then 32. All these cells will be differentiating. Some cells will be forming some tissues, some organs, some will form heart, some will form legs, some will form other organs, some will form brain. So cells will be differentiating. So what happens in the when there is formation of embryo, cell is dividing and some cells are differentiating to form different tissues and organs. Okay, now there are some animals which are laying eggs instead of direct young ones. There are some animals like birds, snakes, reptiles especially, they directly lay eggs. Okay, now they lay eggs outside their body. Okay, so if they lay eggs outside their body, there are some lot of predators which can eat them directly. That's why in order to protect their eggs, they are developing or they are forming thick calcareous shells. Okay, you must have seen any eggs, they are having snake eggs and all. You must have seen in the Discovery also. Even the hen's egg what you ate is having hard calcareous egg shells, right, to protect themselves from the predators. Okay, and once incubation is given to them, after incubation period they will hatch into new individual. These organisms which lay eggs, they are called as oviparous, and organisms which directly give birth to young ones, they are called as viviparous. There are more chances of survival in viviparous because young ones are taken, properly being cared in the female's body, we say. Okay, they are given nourishment, they are given protection also by the female body, whereas here since it is outside there won't be any that protection. That's why here more chances of survival in case of viviparous, and there it is less chances. Now in case of flowering plants, you know that zygote has formed. Okay, zygote is giving rise to embryo. Now embryo with the ovule. Okay, now see, suppose this is the down part is ovary. Okay, in the ovary there will be ovule. Now in the ovule there is embryo. So embryo plus ovule. Okay, embryo in the ovule will lead to formation of seed. Okay, there will be ovary. In the ovary there will be ovule. In the ovule there will be embryo. So ovule and embryo has formed seed. Now entire ovary will form into fruit. So ovary develops into fruit. Once the fruit is formed, what happens? Sepals, petals, all the things, pistil, carpel, everything, the stamen and all is fall down. It is falling off from that particular flower. Okay, but is it for all the fruits it is forming? No. Do remember, in case of tomato and brinjal, see this picture over here. See, can you see here sepals? Okay, there are some fruits like strawberry also is an example, brinjal, tomato. Though all the parts falls off, but this sepals remain. Okay, in other fruits it falls. Okay, now ovary entire develops into fruit. See, as I told you, ovary entire develops into fruit. The outer covering of the fruit, which is very thick, okay, so outer covering of the ovary also we can say, which is very protective in nature, and this outer covering is called as endocarp, okay. Now you know, outer covering is called as pericarp, okay. Then there is mesocarp, then inside it is endocarp. You have learnt it in the 11th standard. So just remember, thick wall, which is the outermost, periphery, so pericarp it is called as, okay. And then once the fruit has ripened, then the seed will fall off, seed will germinate into new plants, okay. Seed will, under favorable climatic condition, it will produce new plant, okay. So we say that fruits are the end result of fertilization in case of flowering plants. So in this video today we have seen 3 events of sexual reproduction, that is pre-fertilization, fertilization and post-fertilization. Thank you students. If you have any difficulty, you can just ask me in the comment section. I will try to answer this. Thank you.